Yo, what's going on everyone? Brian and Jim here with DrinkABeerandPlayAGame, and today we're checking out Road Rash 3D for the PlayStation.
Released in 1998, this was once again developed and published by Electronic Arts. It is a Sony PlayStation exclusive. Long story short, it's another Road Rash game. It's another one for the PlayStation, but since it was actually made for the console, let's hope they actually did some improvements. Did they? We played it, and we're about to tell you.
Graphically, this game actually was an improvement over the original Road Rash remake. The textures all look a lot better, and each bike is much more unique this time, but we'll get a little bit more into that into gameplay. As far as the level designs themselves, you still have some of that texture mapping issues, but like I said, everything just looks a little more smooth. Back again are one of our favorite things from the PlayStation, FMVs. We might have mentioned it last video, I don't know. But this time, they're a little weird. Last time, it was just funny little skits that kind of made sense. This time, it's just very punk, grungy, people wearing skull makeup. It's just kind of fucking weird, and we don't get it as much. So, yeah, you're not going to see as much FMV footage in this video. Sorry guys! But either way, we actually bumped our scores up to a 7. It deserves a bump with a better looking game like this. And as far as beer, I'm just gonna add 1 for the poor fact that they downgraded the quality of those FMVs.
As far as sound goes, this game does what the PlayStation port of the 3DO game should have done. And that is include the licensed music during the actual races. So you get songs from Sugar Ray, Kid Rock, The Mermen, The Tea Party. Yes, I looked it up on Wikipedia, but, you know, it's easier that way than, going into the game menus and all. But, like I said, the music actually plays, that's a plus. Though, the sound effects in the game are basic as can be for a motorcycle racing game. You hear the hum of the motor, you hear the sounds of when you're hitting each other, all that basic crap. Long story short, we both gave it 8s, and it got that 1-point jump from the original PlayStation port just for having the licensed music all throughout. And as far as beer goes, I'll give it 1 beer just because that bike sound can get annoying.
Well, as Jim mentioned already, since this game was made for the PlayStation, they really utilized the controls a little better. Everything stays almost the same except for the addition of, once you hit the select button, you can change the camera angle on your bike, which being zoomed out actually really helps you, and you can actually look behind you now, and if you use the R1 and L1 buttons, it actually can do the turning for you. So if you're tired of using that D-pad, it's a nice little alternative, although we will say it doesn't exactly work the best. And they add in the ability to do a wheelie. That's so cool. Watch me get on this car. Jim, I'm on the car. I'm on. Other than that, though, it's the same game that you've known and loved. You have your hit button, you have your brake, which, come on, we know is for bitches, and you have your gas. So, because they added more options and utilized the PlayStation controller a little better, we bumped our score up to an 8. This is one of the better controlling Road Rashes, and the game is actually a lot more racing based. But maybe Jim will talk about that. Or not. Fuck him. As far as beer, I'm gonna add 1 for my sweet ass abilities to ride on top of cars.
The gameplay. Looking back and doing research, it's kind of weird to us that this game got as much hate as it did. If there's one thing I'm going to complain about right off the bat, is the fact that this game came out, 3 years later than the last game I reviewed, and there's still no multiplayer? What the flaming shit is that? And also, they didn't reinvent the wheel either. They played it really safe, and it's just thrash mode and big game mode. Whoop-de-doo, we've already seen this. How about some invention there, guys? Also,
hey, Jim!
Wow, oh god, I thought we could go a video without being interrupted.
They have time trials.
Yes, they have time trials. I guess I'm proven wrong. What a glorious thing to add to a game. Anyway, a lot of the same still here. You can start off with different bikers with different bikes and different stats and different starting money and different weapons, but it's a lot of the same shit you've seen before. Weirdly enough, the game seems to have more of a focus straight on racing, and it's even a little slower paced than the other games in the series, which we didn't really mind, but a lot of reviewers at the time really killed this game for. And I'm not going to say it's completely warranted, but I can see if it pisses you off. For us, it almost seems like a weird, almost motorcycle simulation kind of game, but you have punches and kicks. So it's kind of weird what they were going for here. We still think it's a fine racing game, it's just maybe not the best Road Rash experience out there. Long story short, Bri gave it a 7, I gave it a 6, and as far as beers go, I'm gonna add 2 friggin' beers for lack of multiplayer. Jesus Christ.
Although the originality is once again missing from this game.
Oh really?
Jim, let me finish my point, I never interrupt you. This game, it actually did add new features, some of which Jim forgot to talk about, because he's a man. Such as the fact that when you just choose a different bike this time, it actually has a legit different feel. Like, you can have a chopper which will go really fast on straightaway, but good friggin' luck trying to turn that beast, because just like this footage shows, you'll go flying off. Other than that though, I mentioned the difference in the controls, and yeah, nothing else is really new. This late in the Road Rash series, you would hope for a lot more innovations, but they just weren't willing to give it, or just didn't give it. I don't know what the hell they did. Maybe they spent too much time on these weird-ass FMVs. I don't know. So as you see, we both gave it a 2. And as far as beer, I gotta add at least 2 more because these assholes just need to up their game at this point. I mean, come on.
Alright, replayability I can keep short. Since it's basically the same game as the Road Rash remake, we're giving it the same score of 4s. Because, with the exception of the choppers, and there's not really much of a reason to keep coming back. And when it comes to the story mode, you can choose a different bike, so you can have a different feel with the bikes, or just doing your exhibition. Either way, it's not adding anything new. And when it comes to beer, I'm adding 3, because I'm still pissed, some could say cheesed, about that lack of multiplayer.
Sounds like you got sand in your vagina.
You know what? Maybe I do. Maybe I do have a little sand in there. You know what would be good to get rid of sand? Some goddamn multiplayer.
So overall, even though this is a better looking and arguably a better sounding game with a few more control options, it still wasn't enough to warrant a higher score from us. We enjoyed it, but it took out a lot of the aspects of Road Rash which we love and made the attacks just so goddamn useless. By the time you're ready to hit someone, you're either flying by them or they're braking, so yeah, that was a little bit of a letdown. But as Jim mentioned, if you're looking for just a kind of solid motorcycle racing simulator, it's not a bad choice. So, we both gave it a 6. It's above average, but it's still on par with the Road Rash remake. So when we combined all of our scores together, it actually rounds out to a 6.6. This score is really just reminiscent of the fact that it does look better, it controls fine, and it still has that fun gameplay, but in the Road Rash series, man, it's still not one of the strongest titles, so putting score aside, you could either flip a coin with playing this or the remake.
I just like the cat girl with the boobies.
About time you like girls.
Wait, what? What?
When it comes to the beer pairing, I had to choose something unique for this game's unique grungy style, so I went with the Pipeworks Brewing Company's Blood of the Unicorn. Just listen to that name, that is crazy, and the label is even more crazy. But I will say, coming in at 6.5%, this is on the higher end of most American Amber or Red Ales, and it's a damn good beer. Just one that if you drink too many of, you might have even more trouble handling the turns in this game. So, grab yourself a 6-pack and let us know what you think. But remember to drink your beers and play your games responsibly. As always, guys, thanks for checking out this video, and if you enjoyed it, make sure you give us a thumbs up, leave some comments, or better yet, why not subscribe? Till next time, guys, cheers.